Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile, and welcome to GGG
Я думаю, сразу
Live.
Мак начнет,
We
кстати.
have massive changes to show you today with Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflame, which is coming out next week on July 25th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so you'll be able to claim your Abyssal Soul
Эффектик,
Shatter
кстати,
Rare
красивый.
finisher effect by following the instructions below. Let's not keep you
Прикольно
waiting
будет
though.
что-нибудь с ним
Roll
сделать
the trailer
как-нибудь.
for Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflame.
The Oriflame calls us to the sea, to a lost wreck that still draws ghostly breath. A curse down below. With my lanterns, we can explore the sea floor.
Это выглядит как Дел. Дел 2.0. Подводный.
Somewhere in the blackest depths, bounty
Монолиты с PoE2.
awaits.
Прикольно, прикольно. Ух ты. Не знаю, что я вижу, пока непонятно. Без кривых мы видели, но интересно, что собой представляет. Стоп, что? Наёмников вернули! Ё-моё, кайф! Ну, опилочки. Аномалии. Наёмников вернули.
Come
Что?
find your
Новый класс? Ascendant класс? Новый
in
класс?
the depths of the sea.
Для Сионки, что ли, третий? Ну окей, интересно. Не так много, как в предыдущих лигах, будто бы вот по трейлеру чисто, но, блин, все
Today's stream will
интересно.
be walking you through all the
Ух
details
ты,
of
ух ты, ух
Path of
ты.
Exile Curse of the Oriflame, where you'll comb the ocean floor discovering sunken artifacts of forgotten
Люминари,
origins,
Ascendant
fight the horrors of
класс.
the deep, and do your best to
Socket,
keep from being
Collax,
crushed by the
Reworked?
waters above you. We're revisiting some familiar mechanics.
Неужели
and new
сделали,
life
как
to
изначально
systems that have begun
собирались
to
в
pulse
PoE
and show
2.0?
their
Ну, то
age?
есть, до того, как
Abyss
это
and
стало
Legion will
отдельной
both be
игрой.
receiving significant upgrades, including a new
Легион,
pinnacle boss for
РЕАКЦИЯ,
Abyss, and a new chase crafting system for unique items in Legion. In addition to revamps of the existing leagues, though, we're also bringing back some old friends. The mercenaries of
Интересно.
Trathis are making their way back to Rayclast. Then we'll
Интересно,
explain our
блин,
new
то, что
endgame
наемников
system.
вернули, очень
We will
кайф.
join Kirak in investigating anomalies appearing on the app.
Мне чисто вот
After
как...
that, we'll discuss the character and skill balance coming in Curse of the
не как
Oriflame.
наемник, помощник.
Finally,
Мне как
we'll cover a
механика,
new set of
которую
support
фармить
attacks.
интересно
After
было,
which,
нравится.
we'll have a live
Меха-
Q&A session where Ziggy D will
механики,
interview
говорю.
Path of Exile's
Наемники.
game director Mark, as well as game designers Octavian and Andrew, answering your questions from Twitch chat.
Ух ты.
After the live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes at 11 a.m. NZT. So let's get started.
Прикольно,
I'll
что
hand things over to
Octavian
Mark to
теперь
introduce the new league.
здесь прям в трейлере
I'm
будет
Mark
участвовать.
Roberts, Game
Ну, или в
Director on
QA.
Path of Exile. In Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflame, a long-forgotten
Блин,
mystery has
понял.
begun to stir beneath Ray-class seas. Hidden in the icy depths lie strange and immensely powerful treasures, waiting for those bold enough to claim them. Meet Valerie, a dangerous Corsair captain who needs boots on the ground and on the sea floor to help her retrieve these treasures and unlock their potential. This is where you come in, to help her find the charts scattered across Rayclast. Then, use those to guide her ship to the patch of brine that holds loot for the taking.
Я рад, что
In
это
return,
отдельная
you
механика,
get a
потому
cut
что
of the
некоторые люди
profits.
предполагали, что это
These
просто
lost
как
charts are
такой
guarded
вот
by the
подводно-морской реворк
rival
Эбиса.
Corsairs,
Пустого тизера.
or horrible creatures of the deep.
Оба
Each
кайф.
of these monster encounters
Тут
will
старые
also have
вижу,
a
новые
custom
какие-то.
bonus for defeating the
Морские.
enemies. For example, successfully defeating the accursed undead that guard this treasure chest will cause the grateful trapped soul
То
inside
есть
to
инмап
grant you
механика
its power,
спавнится сундук,
possessing you
вокруг него
and
моба, мы
granting you
защищаем
ghastly
и
power for the rest of the
лутаем.
area. Once a chart is in hand,
И
you
как-то
board
влияет на
the good
область,
ship, the
оставшуюся.
Sovereign, Valerie, or Val's, reappropriated Oriathan naval vessel. Here, Val introduces you to the heart and soul of her ship, quite literally. Vesper, another Pondium native like Val, is bound to this ship. His
Yeah, it's
soul
визуально
burns with
выглядит.
the All Flames curse, and were his comatose body to be removed from the ship, he would surely die.
О, как.
The silvery apparatus that lines the bows and eaves of the vessel allow him to steer the Sovereign anywhere in Rayclast's waters. Using the chart you've brought, Vesper can navigate to a location so you can scout it for Val, and while doing so, claim whatever treasures there might be. How, though, will you avoid a watery grave once sunk below? Vesper controls a spark of the Allflame, a powerful and mysterious magic, which has been imbued into a number of devices aboard the ship, chief among them the bathysphere. This entirely safe and well-tested contraption of rivets, bolts, and metal will be your ticket beneath the waves to explore and plunder. While scouting the depths, in order to not need an ample supply of air, we're instead going to place all-flame lanterns. These are conduits of the power that
Что-то
keeps
среднее между
Vesper
экспедицией
alive
и
and bound to the
Делвом в
ship,
этом смысле.
and give you the
Тележка с нами не
temporary
катается, мы
safety
сами
you
представляем
need
цвет.
to do that exploring.
В этом
Without
случае
them,
воздух.
you will drown. The first of these is
И
strapped
вот
to
этот
the
предмет
bathysphere
для
and activates on
крафта с
landing,
новой механикой, да?
rushing the water away to reveal
Значок
horrifying
зелёный.
monstrosities, lost treasures, and a strange luminous coral growing from the corrupted dead in the oceans of Rayclast. These strange growths are the real reason Val has asked you to plumb these waters,
Блин,
as the
тематически
coral
классно
can be
вообще.
broken down into dead man sulfur, the fuel that keeps Vesper's light burning. As you get to the perimeter of the safety provided by an all-flame lantern, Val will drop more down at your request. There's also an option available to have new lanterns fired automatically for you as soon as you need them,
Класс,
if
класс,
you
класс.
prefer speed over fine control. Explore and claim what you can while you can. Lost fortunes of gold, chests of valuables, and lurking threats all lie in wait for you beneath the
На униках
waves.
тоже появляется зеленая
You might
иконка.
even find
То
the
есть их
odd
тоже
lost
как-то можно будет
missive,
крафтить.
waylaid on its travel to its intended recipient. But hey,
Стал
finders keepers, right?
Reflecting Mist.
Beware,
Еще один
though,
источник
as Vesper can
Reflecting
only
Mist.
power so
Прикольно.
many lanterns at once, and that power is finite. On placing the last of your lanterns, they will begin, one by one, to flicker and fade, and the creatures of the deep will rush in as they sense the vanishing of the light. You'll have to rush back to the safety of the bathysphere, escaping the cold clutches of creatures that despise the light you bring.
Прикольно.
You'll want to place every lantern though, as exploring to collect enough dead man sulfur is the only way to successfully chart the area for the next step, planning a voyage. Val will keep
Блин,
a
забавно.
record of the areas you've charted,
Я до
storing
трейлера
details in
слышал,
her
как кто-то
journals.
предполагал, что это будет
Once
подводный
you've
делт.
charted enough areas, just
Это не
talk
прям
to
подводный
Val,
делт, явно, но...
place your charts on
Напоминает.
Val's board, connect them together, and create one giant seafloor excursion. Each area you chart will reveal a special modifier that applies when it is used as part of a voyage, applied to either the charts adjacent to it or the whole voyage. Here are a
Это
few
пока
examples.
даже близко не понял.
This modifier causes all equipment dropped by monsters in adjacent charts to be converted to gold. This modifier will spawn friendly jellyfish alongside every pack of monsters in your voyage, which you will promptly slaughter for extra loot and experience, we're sure. This modifier causes all monsters in adjacent
Nice.
charts to be empowered by
Уже набывка
wildwood
какая-то.
wisps. With 9 positions on your board for charts when constructing a voyage, these can stack up fast. There are also charts which can take you to specially rewarding areas of the ocean floor. Fields of anchors strewn with treasure chests full of loot, Kalguran shipments lost at sea, and sunken abyssal pits teeming with monsters.
Разные
To
рандом
name just a
энкаунтеры.
few. There are even some ancient artifacts you might find and resurface.
Наконец-то тематическая НТХ для
Additionally,
краба.
the edges of the voyage board track the currents of corruption flowing through the waters of Rayclast, with randomized effects being rolled with each
Прикольно
new
немножко
voyage to
сделано.
affect the charts placed adjacent to them. These add even further rewards to your voyages, and
Реально
can
классно
shake
выглядит.
up the way you choose to place your charts. Stack all of that together, and a well-planned voyage, with a bit of luck, can be a very profitable endeavor. But with so
Уже
much
интересно,
loot to claim,
что
how are you
представляет
going
собой
to
вот
get it
эта
all to the surface?
крафт-механика.
Val has a
Все эти вещи
solution
с
for
зелеными
just that
иконками.
problem. In each of the charts that comprise your voyage, there will be a capsule waiting for you,
Ух
sent
ты.
down by Val, which can store about an inventory worth of loot. Stuff these
Всё,
full,
понятно,
send
понятно.
Val a signal, and she will pull
Эта
it back
иконка
up to the
просто
surface, safe and sound.
Как в
Since
Хейсте,
voyage
то
is
же
a
самое
belt of 9
обозначает.
charts, that's a lot of
что он
opportunities to
может
send
пропасть
back
при смерти?
plenty of valuables. Once you're satisfied with the plunder from your well-planned voyage, find any of these capsule locations and call the bathysphere to it as your ticket out. Val will send it down to your rescue as fast as she can. You just need to survive until it gets there. Good luck. Once you do, don't forget to empty all those capsules full of loot. Now, back to all that dead man sulfur that you've been hard at work gathering. Is that just to keep the Sovereign afloat and Vesper alight? No, it's not. Once you've got a bunch of it, head below decks, and you'll find the heart of the ship at work. Whilst Vesper's body remains above deck, burning away in a contraption of tarnished pipes and corpse-stained glass, resides Vesper's soul, and you'll find him to be a pretty crafty fellow, if a bit melancholy. That's where this league's item crafting system comes into play. Give Vesper an item, alongside a currency that you could normally use on that item, and an ample supply of Dead Man's Sulfur. That item is then split into a multitude of ghostly forms, each of which will be the result of having applied that currency to the original item.
И появляется какая-то
You can then pick which of the
ингибилити.
ghostly outcomes you like best to keep for yourself. The others will go up in smoke, as Vesper can only reify a single outcome.
Это как долго мы можем
This
крафтить
can be
тот
done
же
with
предмет?
almost any crafting step you'd like. Want
Ну,
to see a
любопытно,
few
любопытно.
outcomes for
Это
that
просто
influenced exalted orb?
сильно для крафта.
Perhaps you've got a particularly expensive fossil combination you want to get maximum value out of.
Слабая хиникора или типа того. Ну, очень слабая хиникора.
Do be
Вернуться
wary
ты
though,
не можешь
as the
к
more
изначальному.
potent the craft, the more sulfur Vesper will require to see it done.
Ого. Ого, блин.
That's not all, however,
Для
as the
фактурок вообще
C4
сильно.
hides some yet undiscovered potential
Да
in
вообще
the form
сильно
of
так-то.
rare and valuable ducats. These can be consumed by Vesper to warp and twist items in
Интересно, как
ways
много у
not
нас
seen in
валюты этой будет
centuries,
вообще?
such as Kishara's
У
ducat,
него много в
which
инвентаре
creates
было.
4 ghostly copies of an item, each of which will keep one mod from the original, perfect for creating powerful crafting bases.
Прикольно, прикольно.
The
Прикольно.
Gentile's Ducat, which can solve item or gem requirement problems by changing one attribute to another. And Brine Hook's Ducat, with which you can become an emissary of the gods of Rayclast. Who knows what these aspects might do? These Ducats come from special types of
Класс.
charts, so keep an eye out for them on your travels throughout Rayclast. You
Класс.
may even find some that
Грубо
lead
говоря,
you to
новый
notably
инфлюенс.
unwelcoming waters.
Ну ладно, не совсем.
So
Прикольно.
that covers the new league. And for the first time in Path of Exile, we're finally going under the sea. Some might even say this is the first real boat league. But that's not all. Not
Тоже правда,
even
кстати,
close.
реально. Круто.
Next up, we've got an old favorite making a return. The mercenaries of Trathus are once again
Блин, круто.
roaming Rayclast, looking for hapless fools to duel. Mercenaries will start appearing from Act 3 in San.
Поглубже, чем Мираж,
Before
ПТВ.
beginning a duel, you'll be offered an
Прикольно.
overview of the mercenary you've encountered. Here, you can see
Блин.
the gear they have equipped and
Вот
the skills
наемников
they
прям с
employ.
кайфом поформлю в новой
As
лиге.
per the Trathan code, you have the right to wager for an item the mercenary is carrying. You'll stake some of your gold, and the duel commences.
Какая цена за то, чтобы рекрутировать их? Я очень хотел бы, чтобы слишком легко это было. Я не хочу быть
If you
обязанным на
lose,
каждом
you
персонаже
forfeit the levied gold, and the
бегать с
mercenary will
наемником.
teleport out,
Было бы не очень.
repulsed at such a poor display. Win, however,
Надеюсь, что не
to the victor will
резервируют
go the
что-то, условно, там
spoils.
ману или...
In addition, if you win the
Не знаю
duel,
даже.
the
Дебаф какой-то
mercenary will
накладывать.
aid you as an ally for a number of areas. Trathan mercenaries are powerful allies to have in Rayclast, assisting in
На
a
пару
number of
карт?
ways. Some mercenaries can provide you with powerful auras and buffs, while
Можно
other
рекрутировать
mercenaries can
на
do
пару
all the
карт?
killing for you.
Я правильно понял?
While in map areas, if you don't like anything the mercenary offers, you have the ability to
Так
request their
неинтересно.
wallet. A warrant is a promise to return and
Но
duel
порой как
again at a
неинтересно. Я бы
later
хотел
date.
бы иметь возможность
A call to
постоянного
action
наемника
that
иметь.
calls that
Но я
specific
хотел бы
mercenary
быть
to a
обязан это
future map
делать.
with the same set of skills, but a new set of
Ух
items.
ты.
A mercenary will only grant their warrant once, however, preventing you from fighting that mercenary in every single area.
Интересно.
Warrants also allow you to trade specific mercenaries to other
Ух
players.
ты, вот это прикольно придумали.
It is important to note that unlike in Mercenaries of Trathis League, having a mercenary does not count as a player party member. So having a mercenary does not
Правильно,
increase
думаю,
monster
это
life
хорошо.
or the quantity and rarity of items dropped from monsters. Given that, you may be wondering, but what if I really like a mercenary I found? They have a great personality
Интересно.
and powerful skills. Is
Что
there
они придумали?
really no way I can keep them
Что это
as an
такое?
ally permanently?
Что это за яйцо?
Well, you
Что это за
can,
энкаунтер?
but only if you are a scion. For the second time in 6 months, the scion is getting a new ascendancy class, the Luminary. The
Круто.
Luminary is a natural leader, lighting the way for others to follow. Becoming a
Табулировать.
Luminary immediately lets them allocate the Noble Blood passive,
Класс,
allowing
класс.
them to permanently hire any
Хорошее
mercenary
решение.
they
В
find in
целом,
class.
то, как я и хотел.
Luminaries can have up to
Видеть
3
это в игре.
permanently
Круто.
hired mercenaries, 2 in reserve and towns and hideouts,
Круто.
and 1 as an active ally in combat. Unlike with regular mercenaries, you can change the items permanently hired mercenaries have equipped, opening up innumerate potential build possibilities. By default, permanently hired
Класс.
mercenaries cannot be equipped with unique items, but these passives enable them to equip specific types of uniques. While the
Прикольно.
legendary arms passive empowers mercenaries that have many different unique items equipped. Luminaries have the
8
flexibility of
именно
becoming
more
a support
damage
character to their
за каждый
mercenary,
уник.
or having their mercenary
Интересно.
support them. The Oath of Fealty and Golden Glory passives empower your mercenary by using your link skills on them. The Loyal Bodyguard and
Хорошо,
Bestowed
больше
Knighthood
применения
passives
для линских
enable
потому
your
что
mercenary to
практически
protect
никто их не
you in
использует.
combat, as well as enhancing their aura skills. As
Я не
with
знаю,
any
как дела
old league that
у
we add to the core
пати
game,
игроков обстоят.
we have added full
ними.
Atlas Tree and Scarab support. Here are just a few examples. These passives allow you to much more easily target the specific types of mercenaries you want showing up in your maps. The Loot and Pillage passive gives mercenaries a chance to drop all their items when defeated,
Интересно,
instead
новых
of just
каких-то
the one you
наемников добавили?
selected. The Trathan Scarab
Надеюсь,
of
да.
Renown makes it so
Было
the
бы хорошо.
spawned mercenary is covered
Об
head to
основными
tail in
обилками,
unique
которые
items.
добавили за эти лиги.
And the Trathan Scarab of Infamy forces a more powerful,
Явно новый,
infamous
окей.
mercenary to spawn, accompanied by 2
Не
other
помню вот этих
mercenaries
чисто
for
визуально.
a truly unfair duel. Unfair for them.
3 сразу.
There's even a few entirely new mercenary types, one of which is found exclusively on the
Nice,
seafloor
nice.
in rare Curse
То, о
of the
чем я
Oriflame
говорил.
encounters.
Дориан.
Sellswords of Trathis won't be the whole of your problems in 329, however, as the denizens of the Lightless are getting some much-needed updates with
Abyss,
the modernization and rework
Го посмотрим, что там с бездной.
Abyss. When we brought Abyss over to Path of Exile 2 and Rise of the Abyssal, some functional changes to the mechanic were made to
Я обожаю,
improve
кстати,
the
вот этот
gameplay
саундтрек, который сейчас на
significantly.
фоне, с
In Curse of the
Abyss
Oriflame,
Speed,
the
именно в первой
majority of
части.
those changes will be making their way back
Прям
to
такой
Path of
мрачный,
Exile
кайфовый.
1. The existing Abyss content had some notable problems. Aside from being very dated, it also required the player to follow a crack as it opens, often backtracking throughout already cleared areas. Now, as you approach an abyssal pit, and the cracks leading up to it, you will
Визуал
find that it is
как
already
PoE 2
open
будто.
and spilling forth abyssal energy into the surrounding area,
Визуал как PoE 2.
subjugating the souls of enemies unlucky enough to be within its influence.
И звуки тоже.
Slaying these enemies will send those souls spiraling down into the pit, drawing the attention and ire of the minions of Kulamark that dwell beneath. Slay enough of them, and the Abyssal Legion will spill forth from their domain to tear you apart. The upshot of this rework is twofold. Firstly, there is now much more visceral feedback in the moment-to-moment gameplay of Abyss, with audio and visual cues drawing the player along. And most
Всё равно
importantly,
по визуалу
you'll
отличается
never
от
need to
PoE 2.
chase a
Как
meandering
вот с
abyssal crack
освещением,
around a
думаю.
map ever again. No more backtracking. However, be on your guard, The abyssal minions of Kulamark have some different tricks up their sleeves in PoE 1, and many employ entirely different skills to those of their PoE 2 counterparts. To be clear, there are still some aspects of the existing abyssal system that we will be keeping. Abyssal jewels and items with abyssal sockets will remain. In fact, we have given Abyss a similar treatment to what we did with Dell fossils in our last release, moving abyssal rewards out of other areas of the game to make Abyss the exclusive source of abyssal jewels and Stygian vices.
Я надеюсь, что я смогу
This
в
will
этой лиге
also
бездны
come with a
побегать
complete
наконец-то.
refresh of abyssal scarabs and Atlas passive tree investment, with some truly dangerous and wild new
Лиг-механика
ways to
и
take on the
до
lightless
ревовка
hordes.
нравилась очень.
Lastly, for
Одна из
Abyss,
самых приятных.
but definitely not least, Abyss is bringing an entirely new endgame pinnacle boss, with its own set of brand new unique items. This boss has a
Точно
very
будет.
unique way of accessing it. What does this eyeball do? Good luck figuring this
Твой
one
два
out.
пальца, здесь глаз.
Let's move on to our next league being reworked, Legion. Every
Не
league
так
should
много
have
показали про
distinct
Эбиса. Мне
and
интересно, как
interesting rewards that are
какие-то
exclusively available from
ямы,
that
да, или
mechanic.
как это в русском переводе.
This allows players to
Как ямы
specialize in
поменяли.
certain corners of the game, rewarding those who engage with a given mechanic. Legion is
С ямами
next on
проблема
our
была,
list
что
to
там
receive this
свойства
treatment.
карты
Despite having a
не
unique
применялись.
combat mechanic,
Из-за
we
этого
felt
просто
Legion didn't have
ничего не падало,
interesting
то есть
exclusive
ты только ради
rewards
босфайта идешь
outside of
туда.
timeless jewels. While incubators were
Ощущалось
technically
тратой времени прям.
exclusive to Legion, they effectively granted the same rewards that you could get elsewhere. So, what are we doing about it? Firstly, incubators are being removed. No longer will you have to remember to apply incubators to all your equipment every few maps. Instead,
О, как?
we will be adding a new type of reward exclusive to Legion, vestigial unique items. Legion generals and maps will have a
Какие-то
chance
имплисты
to drop a
особые?
new type of currency item, enshrouding crystals.
Фу.
These can be used on your unique
Круто.
armors. You can then take the enshrouded item to the domain of timeless conflict,
Ух ты.
which might look a little bit different to what you remember. A giant crystal emerges from the center of the domain, and there appears to be some sort of entity trapped inside, potentially the reason that these armies are engaged in eternal conflict. At the base of the crystal are a number of smaller crystals. Clicking on one allows us to place our enshrouded item inside. As we then kill monsters in the domain of timeless conflict, our gloves within the crystal begin to transform. And once you have killed enough, the crystal becomes volatile and looks ready to fracture. I wonder what will come out. Our Shaper's touch transformed into a Malagaro's virtuosity.
Мне уже
Now,
интересна
the
реакция Ромаха
Malagaro's
увидеть на то,
virtuosity
как
is a
Легион
trace
поменяли.
of the
Ему
original
нравится?
enshrouded
Нет.
item bestowed upon it, in the form of a vestigial implicit modifier.
Новый
As
имплисит,
you can see,
прикольно.
enshrouding crystals allow you to
Любопытно.
transfer powerful modifiers from one unique item onto another. Here are some more examples of vestigial unique items. Helmets, boots, gloves, shields,
Ух ты!
and
Тут
body
интересный
armors.
эффект есть. Прям
In
интересно.
addition to vestigial items, we are also making a number of small
Ну, я так понимаю, это на эту
improvements to
лигу.
You no longer
Нет
need
ощущения,
to
что
kill
они такие
every
эффекты
last
ставят на
monster
потом.
to begin the
Но
Legion
было бы
game.
круто.
Breaking out all the key monsters, chests, and the majority of monsters will be enough to start the combat
Интересно, насколько
automatically.
прибыльно будет бегать ради этого?
No more
Легион.
cheeky single monster hiding in
Ну,
the
будто бы это
corner,
дорого не будет
preventing your
стоить, по
encounter from
ощущениям.
starting.
Хотя тут
Legion
такие
monsters
эффекты.
drop
Может,
fewer
оно редкое?
splinters, but in larger stack sizes,
О,
resulting in
найс,
fewer clicks in each
найс.
encounter.
Радует.
Unrelenting timeless emblems have been removed, with regular timeless emblems absorbing many of their effects, causing the domain of
Понял,
timeless
понял.
conflict
Я
to
думал,
become
совсем
harder,
убрали и теперь
but
просто
more
стол
rewarding
представляем
as you kill
для
monsters.
того, чтобы попасть.
Your reward progress in the
Подумай.
domain is now tracked by charging up these small purple crystals, rather than flooding your screen with hundreds of reward icons. The rewards are still the same,
Ну, блин.
just not obscuring your screen with
Это
symbols.
вознаграждающе ощущалось, когда все эти иконки появлялись снизу.
Talismans were introduced back in 2015, but
Я бы
over
хотел
the
это как
years
опцию на самом деле.
have been long neglected and lack a
Я явно
meaningful place
предпочитаю,
for
когда
purpose.
чисто и красивенько,
We
аккуратно
are
все,
making a
но
number of
иконки
changes
были
to bring
прикольные.
talismans back to relevance. Firstly, talismans are now exclusive rewards from bestiary. Every red beast has a chance to
Талисманы
drop a
решили
talisman
переделать.
specific to that beast.
И что с ними
For
сделать?
example, The Krashik
Они не
Croaker
коррупчены?
can drop the Croaker Talisman. What makes these talismans
Они не
special?
коррупчены?
Well, you'll notice a couple of changes
Погоди.
compared to old talismans.
Талисманы теперь
Firstly,
хорошие.
talismans no longer drop corrupted, making them
Что?
far easier to craft once you find one.
Уа.
Secondly, the special modifiers on talismans are now enchantments, rather than implicits. This means they compete with blight anointments, allowing their effects to be significantly more powerful than before.
Обалдеть.
Here are a few more examples of new talismans. Talisman unique items have all been improved, and now have a chance to drop from all bestiary bosses.
Вау.
Check out the new Eyes of the Great Wolf talisman, which has some crazy possibilities. So that is everything covering the new and reworked League mechanics in 329.
Круто.
Now, that's already quite a lot of in-game content, with mercenaries returning, an upgraded Abyss, Legion's new reward mechanic, and of course, everything the Curse of the Allflame League has to offer. But even with all of that, we're not done. Because what about the Atlas itself? Given Zana's actions
Ну-ка.
to try and destroy it in the last two expansions. Zana's actions are causing the Atlas to become ever more destabilized. Strange locations have begun to manifest on the Atlas.
Аномалии,
Many
аномалии
of
в
which seem to
Атласе.
be bleeding over from familiar places in Rayclast. Kerak has labeled these as anomalies. When you complete maps affected by a Voidstone, there is a chance that when you next open your Atlas, an anomaly may manifest. Like this one, the Mana Foyer.
Блин,
Like regular
прикольно.
maps on the
Прикольная
Atlas,
идея.
you can select them at your map device. But unlike regular maps, these don't require an item to enter. It looks like this area is the abode of Cadero Perandus. Cadero is willing to offer valuable items in exchange for our gold. If you don't like what is on offer,
Мне
you
всегда
can reject
нравилось
it, and he will
с Кадиром
immediately
взаимодействовать
offer another
в
item.
Синдикате.
The next offer will cost more gold, but hopefully is much more valuable to you. If you don't
Здесь
have
по-другому,
enough gold
конечно,
for the
совсем.
offered
Прикольно.
item, don't worry. Cadero is happy to wait for you to
Прикольно.
replenish your coffers. You can return to the area at any time. The anomaly will not disappear from the Atlas until you either purchase an item or reject all his offers. Anomalies are unique in this regard. Unlike other locations on the Atlas, these areas can often be revisited.
Интересно.
Let's quickly run through a few of the anomalies that can manifest.
Класс. В общем, это
Reflecting
как
mists
уникальные
and
карты в
nameless
PoE
seer
2,
no longer randomly spawn within maps,
которые
but instead now
спавнятся, и мы к
appear
ним
in the
подходим, да?
own
То есть
anomaly
этим они
areas.
отличаются от PoE 1. Они
Scrying is no
случайные, мы не
longer
можем
the
их
domain
купить.
of the nameless seer, but
Теперь они это
instead
привнесли
can be
в
done
PoE
through the
1.
new tradable
Круто,
scrying
мне всегда
board.
это хотелось тоже.
Some anomalies
По-моему,
grant a
даже в
taste
какой-то
of
бинго-карте
League
это
mechanics
писал.
you might not normally run.
Что я
without
хотел
having
вот
to be
прибор
fully
уникальных
invested
карт
into
вот в
them.
таком стиле.
For example,
Класс.
this anomaly creates a random, fully revealed heist blueprint wing with random
Синтезированные
rogue
карты поменяли.
companions. This anomaly has a version of the Sacred Grove where the plants have fully taken over. This strongbox seems to have a strange mechanism.
Блин, сколько они
Atlas
всего
anomalies are
классного с PoE 2
unaffected by your Atlas skill tree,
поприносили.
and you can't augment them using any fragments. Therefore, they can be run at any time without feeling like they have to be saved for later to maximize the potential rewards. There are many more Atlas anomalies to discover for yourselves, each of them tied to a specific Atlas
Здесь
quadrant.
карты нет, просто
It is therefore
рефлекшенист.
worth discovering
Обидно.
which
Мне
ones
очень
can
нравится эта
spawn
карта тоже
in
в
each part of
PoE
the
2.
Atlas, as it may influence what Atlas strategy you
Ой,
wish
зря
to
таланты
pursue.
это.
So that is a heap of new challenges to encounter, from the League and the in-game. But you may be asking, what new tools do we have to face these challenges? In 329, we are giving a bit of love to spellcasters. Specifically,
Нет. Марк, вернись.
sockets at a basic level
Не узнал, что
don't
там
have
с
colors
селф-кастом. Ну
You can
ладно.
now put any colored gem into any socket. We're doing this to address a long-running issue for both new and experienced players. I'm sure almost
это работает?
everyone who has played before has run into the issue of finding a notable upgrade and have struggled to find a way to equip it. Maybe you find an amazing body armor, one that would give you a substantial boost to your defenses, but you just can't move your skill or support gems over because the colors of the sockets just don't match, and you didn't luck out with your chromatic orbs. It's not fun, when you have to unequip a bunch of skills or supports just to use a better item. This can still happen with the socket numbers and socket links, so it's not like it's just purely trivial, but the colors were just unnecessary. And not only prevented upgrading gear, it limited build experimentation.
Не пойму, я вижу, что здесь серые
Given
сокеты.
that, what do the colors on
цветные что
gems
делают?
with regards to sockets even now mean? Well, the colors on gems for sockets are still relevant, just as an upgrade system. You can still find items with colored sockets, and you can craft them onto items. They are just rarer and more powerful.
Ух ты,
Most
блин,
importantly, they don't
круто.
restrict what can be socketed into them. So
Круто.
how are they more powerful?
Что дает?
Well, if you were to find an item with, say, a green socket, you can put a green gem inside of it to get an additional quality bonus to that gem.
Круто.
This allows socket colors to be a purely
Круто.
positive outcome on an item, while not just simplifying the system away. You can also still change the color of sockets on your items using a chromatic orb, which
очень
now
круто.
guarantees at least one red, blue, or green socket.
Я бы не подумал бы о
This
таком
change will
решении.
make it easier for everyone to upgrade items and maintain their build, especially while progressing. Speaking of builds and gems, we wanted to make sure we improve some of those, specifically for
Это
spellcasters.
может быть
Let's
квалити
get
больше
into that.
20? Или это просто как раз,
Spellcasters have a
ну,
large
для ранней
number
игры,
of different skills to choose
когда
from,
скиллы еще не вкачаны?
but often many skills play and scale in similar ways. We have done a pass through existing spells, differentiating spell damage types from each other. For example, Shadow's physical spells, like Ethereal Knives and Bladefall, now have a much higher critical strike chance than other spells at the expense of damage. Pure Lightning spells now all have generally higher cast speeds, but they cost more mana per second than other spells. We noticed that some of the Ascendancy classes for Shadow, Witch, and Templar were lacking options for general spellcasting, so we've added a new notable to the Assassin,
О, погоди.
The Occultist.
Это ж пассивка Оракла из PoE2. Если не
And
ошибаюсь,
the
это гарантированно криты были ж?
We are also introducing a new skill, Mana Infused Staff, that infuses your staff with arcane energy, raising your block chance and reducing the mana cost of your spells. In addition, when you are hit by an enemy, you retaliate with a
Альтернатива
wave of arcane lightning,
Archmage.
dealing damage based on your maximum mana.
То есть, наоборот, снижает
One
стоимость
of the
скиллов,
struggles we
но...
noticed with certain self-cast archetypes was that they lacked a scaling option in the endgame. In 329, we're adding a special new set of exceptional skill gems called Pacts. Each pact is themed around a specific Beyond demon and Lycia. You can make a bargain with these demons to empower your spells. But at what cost, you may ask? Well, these spells don't have a typical cost, but instead cause the player to gain a special affliction debuff. Don't worry too much though, the rewards will be worth it. For example, Pact of Baydat causes many of your different spells to just cause a ruckus, while Pact of Gore is for dot builds. Using
Прекрасно.
this
Отдельную
pact will
механику для
plague
этого
your
сделали.
enemies. Just cast it and watch everything around you melt.
Но, блин, но ты с дебафом
Wonder what
бегаешь.
Pact of Lycia and Pact of Katash do. We
Можно
won't
просто
go
играть
into
через
the
мины
specifics
и
of all
бегать
the
без
balance
дебафа, и
changes
при
we are
этом быть
making
сильным.
here,
Если, конечно,
but there are
непонятно
many
как
more
это.
caster improvements, including buffs to specific spells and supports, buffs to caster unique items, as well as more and better ways to solve mana.
Пока
Check
непонятно,
out
пока
the patch
непонятно.
notes later for all the details. Next up, we're
У
going to be
минеров слишком
talking
много
about the
quality of
new
life
supporter packs for
и
Curse
слишком
of
много
the
силы.
Allflame. Today,
Без
we're
дебафов
launching two
каких-либо.
new series of supporter packs, the Plague and Remedis packs.
Ух ты, мне нравится
Each tier
Ремедус. Такой
contains the
прям
pack's full
базовый.
face value in
вкусный.
points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Plague series of supporter packs contains 7 exclusive
Мне нравится это.
microtransactions. Equipping the Plague weapon skin replaces the default appearance of your staff, sword,
Меч
mace,
красивый.
or shield
И булава
with a
красивая.
weapon that has been submerged in corrosive toxins. The Plague Rat Pet is the result of a nefarious experiment. When a unique enemy is nearby, it faints as a defensive mechanism
Класс, в
to
общем,
protect
ревил.
its fragile body so it can continue to
Впечатляет.
spread disease.
Впечатляет
The
лига,
metal of the
впечатляет.
Plague Bearer armor
Переработки
set has
классно.
corroded, and the cloth has begun to disintegrate from being exposed to such
Интересно,
toxic
интересно в
elements.
игре еще посмотреть
It includes
поподробнее,
the
как вот
Plague Bearer back
бездну
attachment,
переделали.
which spreads disease across the ground and town
Мне не хватило
areas,
подробностей, хочется
maximizing the
еще.
chance of infection. A diseased swarm infects
Ну,
your
много
weapon
интересного,
when
конечно.
using the Plague Bearer weapon effect.
Темплист новый
Use
для
it
лунников.
alongside the erupting pustules
С
rare
Легиона.
finisher effect to spread vile and devastating disease to monsters you kill.
Крафт-механика простенькая, понятная, но
Activating the
сильная.
Plague Wraith map device causes the plagued energy to flow from the chained being. Given the goal of spreading such illness is to end the lives of as many as possible, the map device tracks kills
Наёмниками
in
классно
kind,
сделали.
showing you the number of enemies killed in each map, sorted by rarity. Feel free to even pin the count of enemies slain in a map to the leaderboard at your leisure. Pair it with the
И
putrefying
аномалии
portal
классно,
to
не знаю.
fully
Много
immerse
таких
yourself
вот
in the plague propagator
небольших, но
experience.
очень
Both the
точных
map
изменений,
device
которые
and the
вот
portal emit such a
хотелось видеть в
potent
игре.
putrefaction
Круто.
that even the birds flying overhead cannot survive
Интересно будет ли
as they
выбрать.
plummet to the ground around it. The Remedis Pack series also contains 7 exclusive microtransactions. The Remedis weapon skin changes the appearance of your staff, wand, scepter, or shield, with relics once
оружие
used
такие
by
себе.
the Order of the Remedis Knights against the plague. The Medi Roa pet is kitted out with
Ух ты.
all the supplies necessary for healing in remote
100% скин для
locations.
роев пойдем.
Strangely, these
том
rowers
числе.
seem to have a particular fondness for goblin meat.
Лол.
The Remedis Knight
Whoa.
armor set is bestowed upon those tasked with traveling through Rayclast to purge the sick of their diseases. The matching back attachment cleanses the
Пейтвин
disease
пишет.
left behind on the ground in town areas by the Plague Bearer back attachment. It's an important job of a Remedis Knight to not let disease take over. Help by doing your part.
Прикольно,
The Remedis
взаимосвязанные
Knight weapon
с
effect
этим.
funnels
Прикольно.
the divine power of purification into your weapon. Return to the
Веб конфетка,
Saint's
кстати,
End
красивая.
Monastery hideout to
Люблю
recuperate from the
простенькие какие-то
purifying
вайп-конфекты вот
duties.
такие.
Once a thriving center for
Вообще
curing
вайп-конфетки,
ailments,
эффекты
this
люблю очень.
monastery has slowly wasted away while lying
Любимая
unused.
МТХ мои.
If you're feeling brave enough, there's even a platform to dive into the purifying waters below before washing back up at the base of the hideout.
Прикольный хайдаут.
Last, but not least, use the Reservoir of Benediction Affinity Stash to store all of your elixirs. This stash opens to your stash tab with the Flask Affinity set. Additionally, all microtransactions from the supporter packs are available for use in Path of Exile 2. We're looking forward to seeing which of you choose to become the Plague and spread disease across Rayclast, or those who wish to fight against it by becoming a Remedis Knight. Thank you so much for your
Класс.
ongoing support. We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D.
Класс.
Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for
Как
Path of
всегда
Exile,
круто.
Curse of the Allflame at 11 a.m.
Ой,
New
завтра
Zealand time,
Torchlight.
4 p.m. Pacific.
Кайф.
With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news.
Надеюсь, мне получится снять какие-то видео по Torchlight тоже. Я точно не буду, какие-то сейчас видео по Torchlight снимать. Но надеюсь, хотя бы какие-то, может, шортсы с гемблом, может, с каким-нибудь караптом уников. Какие-нибудь небольшие шортсы, в общем, позаписывать. Если будет совсем удачно, то, может быть, и какие-то свои результаты. Может, если билд прям хорошо заведется, то, может, какой-то рекап на то, как прошла лига, сделаю. Посмотрим. Ну, вряд ли. На самом деле, скорее всего, я уже просто с PoE 1 лигой что-нибудь начну снимать. 100%. Надо снять видео про билд, которым я буду стартовать. Я бы вообще хотел бы сделать либо забить на все и пойти по гайду, либо сделать самодельный билд с посохом, который спавнит песчаные копии, которые кастуют обилки. Напоминает Югу один из Torchlight, поэтому я хочу сделать этот билд, было бы классно. Тем более, что сейчас этот предмет в ростере пассивок реликварианки, в общем, класса на сионку. Поэтому можно без самого посоха сделать этот билд. Было бы классно. В общем, вот такие планы. Трейлер, точнее, ревил был бомбовский. Супер интересно, как обычно. Всем спасибо. Всем пока.